What's up, my beautiful soul family? How's everybody doing today? I wanted to get on here today and talk to you guys about a concept that I don't think a lot of people know, and this is soul contracts. For anybody who doesn't know, soul contracts is the agreement one soul has with another soul before they incarnate into the previous lifetime. For those of us that believe in reincarnation, we believe that a soul is eternal and they've lived through many different lifetimes. So in between those lives, we get with another soul that's usually in our soul group, or you call them soulmates, and we having a contract. So let's say in this lifetime, we want to experience spousal abuse. I know this might be a trigger warning for some of you guys. I'm so sorry, but I wanted to get on here and let's talk about, life and about all things spiritual. So let's say in this lifetime, you want to experience spousal abuse. So the soul that's going to incarnate in this life as your abusive spouse, you have a contract with. You say in that contract, of course, let's imagine we're at a business negotiation and there's a contract we're writing up. Let's imagine that. So the abusive spouse, it's in their contract that they will abuse their spouse, that they will be violent towards them or whatever. So they'll experience an incarnation in this lifetime that leads them up to being that abusive spouse. Whereas, let's say you, as the spouse that's going to experience the abuse, let's say you incarnate into a family where it sets you up to have the kind of personality where you take the abuse. You get what I'm saying? It's in all of this is in the contract because we have many different contracts and many different souls, but I'm just going to focus on this one example so that we don't, go all over the place. So we're writing in this contract, okay, spouse A is going to abuse spouse B. We're going to meet, let's say when we're 25 years old, we're going to get married and they're going to do kind of abusive things. We're not going to get into the details of it. You guys could pretty much use your imagination. So you draw up that contract, sign, and you guys negotiate it. So you incarnate in this life, and spouse A abuses spouse B. But let's say that spouse A may have grew up in an abusive household. Let's say spouse B grew up in a household that was they were not taught to really stand up for themselves or to voice their opinion. It was made to feel like their opinion didn't matter. So these two souls get together at 25 years old, like in the contract, and they experience 10 years of abuse in their marriage or whatever. The whole purpose of that contract was because spouse B needed to learn a lesson, but so did spouse A. So spouse A and spouse B agreed, their souls agreed that we're going to learn this lesson from each other. This is in our contract. Now, of course, this is just one particular contract. I wanted to, focus on to give you guys an example, but we do have a contract with everyone in our lives. That means siblings, that means parents, that means friends, that means enemies, bosses, so forth, so on. You know what I mean? We all have contracts with each and every person that's in our lives. Like, for instance, you watching my video right now, me and you have a contract. I have a contract that I'm going to put out videos to help motivate you. You get what I'm saying? And you have the contract that you're going to be a supporter of mine. I just wanted to throw that in there. Anyways, so what are some of the reasons for soul contracts? So the number one reason for a soul contract is that we're put here to learn as souls. Because what everybody need to remember as the basis for spirituality is that we are not humans with souls. We're souls having a human experience. And the point of that human experience is to learn so that we can reach and connect with our higher selves. So that we can, reach the stage of enlightenment as a soul. Number two, karma. Everybody understands, that karma is basically what you put out to the universe, you get back. But people think that karma can be negative or positive. Nope, karma is neutral, but we'll get into that in a subsequent video. Anyways, the number two reason is karma. Let's say you've spent some lifetimes abusing people. Let's say spouse B has. Spouse B has spent some lifetimes abusing people. They always, if they had positions of power, they use their power for the wrong reasons. Let's say that. So This soul wants to learn compassion. This soul wants to learn what they've inflicted on other people. Or maybe this soul wants to even the score with somebody that they abused in a previous lifetime. So they might go have a contract with that soul, like as a, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I did this to you in other lifetimes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to balance things out, because everybody knows karma is just about balance. So in this lifetime coming up, why don't you be spouse A for me? You can abuse me, and that way you can teach me what I taught you and inflicted on you as a soul. Okay? That way we can balance the Akasha records. Number 3, maybe that particular lesson will help them along their life path. Because maybe your life lesson isn't exactly to experience abuse. Sorry, not your life lesson. Maybe your life lesson is that you're put here to help people. You know what I mean? So, in order to understand and have a motive to want to serve the, people that were abused or underprivileged, maybe you had to experience that for a period in your life so that it could be a motivation to you. You get what I'm saying? So that's the number 3 reasons of why we might have a soul contract. 1, to learn. After all of the basis of this is to learn. Number 2, to rebalance an imbalance in the universe, i.e. karma. Karma, the yin and yang, i.e. karma. Number 3, to nudge us onto our intended life path, our life purpose. Okay, now of course there's other reasons why we have contracts with other people. But of course, this is all, what it all boils down to is to learn, is to get onto our life path and to balance the unbalanced karma. So I know a lot of people are probably sitting there and they probably feel like, oh, does that mean that we choose certain people to come into our lives? And the answer for that is yes. Yes. We choose our parents. We choose our siblings. We choose our spouses before we are born into this incarnation. You know what I mean? And these are usually souls that we've had other lifetimes with. So when they come into your life, even if in your lifetime they've caused you pain, they're really doing it from a spiritual, loving standpoint. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not sitting up here saying that suffering is good for you. I'm not saying you should endure suffering. That is nowhere near what I'm saying. Please do not take that. What I'm saying is that in spirituality, from a human standpoint, we look at good and evil, right? An act is good, an act is evil. Spiritually, we don't look at good and evil. We understand life lessons. You know what I mean? And sometimes those lessons have pain attached to them. Sometimes those lessons have joy attached to them. So yes, we do. We choose our spouses. We choose our parents. We choose our siblings. We choose our kids. We have contracts with each and every one of these individuals in our lives. You know what I mean? And it's in the contract of what we have to go through with each other. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next video. Leave me a comment down below. Have you guys ever heard of soul contracts before? And if so, what are some significant soul contracts you've experienced that you wonder like, what was I supposed to learn from that? I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one.